So let's start. So my theme that I'm going to speak today is about some guidelines or tips for the design of the marketing plan during the crisis. Probably the most of you are with a lot of anguish and doubts about what's going on for the future. Uh, Basically, the COVID-19 has impacted travel industry very strong, and probably is the first industry that has fell down, and probably will be the last that will recovery in time. So during this process that probably you're passing right now, probably some of you are in your homes, probably your countries are in a lockdown policy with in a quarantine a period of time. It's possible the best time to think about the future, to see what's going on now, and probably trying to understand the challenge that the war is putting us in front of our companies and destinations. As Marco said, my name is Patricio Aibor. I'm born in Quito, Ecuador. Just a moment. Okay. I'm born in Quito, Ecuador. I am Ecuadorian. I have more than 20 years of experience in the tourism business. During my professional career, I serve in different kind of positions and roles. I am a tour guide. I also work as a travel agent. I'm working in the operation areas, as well as many senior management positions, marketing and commercial, especially with tour operators, but also I collaborate in the central government as a executive director of the Ecuador Tourism Board, and also in the local government in Quito, in my city. I am passionate about sustainable tourism and ecotourism. I have a academic background that includes a bachelor in tourism management and also a specialization in natural area management with a master's degree in ecotourism. Right now, I am working as a consultant in in many different sustainable projects, but also I have my own NGO called Verde Milenio. That means in English, Green Millennium. And I'm working different kind of scientific, academic, volunteer, and educational programs with universities, and also working in some sustainable development programs. So this is the content that we are going to have today. I will try to explain some of the content, but also I have prepared some polls during my talk, so you can interact with me, answer some of the questions that I'm going to present to you, so we can see in a way your opinion about some questions or matters that are related to COVID-19 and the travel industry. So we are going to have we already have a brief introduction. We are going to see a review of the current status, especially in the travel industry. We are going to see how the COVID-19 impacted the tourism business. Then we are going to check some travel and tourism forecasts, what's going on. And then we will discuss some possible trends that will influence our companies, our families, our countries, our destinations. And then finally, we will see some guidelines or tips to create a marketing plan. We will see how to evaluate and do like a reflection process in our companies and institutions. We will try to discuss about a new strategic definition of how to change that or how to renew that vision that we have as a companies or destinations. We will talk about our new unique value proposition, an action plan that we can put running to face these challenges, and finally we'll talk about some tips for communications, some message to broadcast and to spread to our customers, to our suppliers, and to the people that are related to our companies and destinations. as Marco said, if you have any questions or you want to interact with me, I will suggest to put your questions or your comments into the bubble, the chat system, so we can read it and then we can answer and also give you the chance to interact with me. It will nice if you can turn off your microphone, so in that way probably the rest of the assistant to this seminar will be the chance to hear what we are going to say. So saying that, we are going to start. I would like to start with a question to you. So if you have a internet access, I'm going to send you to the chat bubble. I'm going to send you a link so you can click on the link and then you will be into a website called Mentimeter. So you can answer this question and we are going to see on the screen the answer that you are going to put there. So we will want to analyze what kind of sector do we have here and during this this talk. So let me put the link. Let me paste the link, and also let me check. Okay, I'm here, and then I'm going to paste it on the. Okay, so you have the link. Also, if you want it, you can see the web address. If you can get into this web address, www.menti.com, and you can use this code 843188, and you can start answering me. Which tourism sector do you represent? If you're a lodge, if you're a tour operator, you're a destination, are you a restaurant? What kind of sector do you represent? What kind of sector do we have today with us in this webinar? Please, trying to answer them. We have, some answers. That's good. Thank you very much. So the idea to do this question is to analyze a little bit about who are coming, who is with us today, and trying to figure out and adapt in a way the kind of tips and guidelines that we are going to discuss today. Okay, so we have a couple of tour operators. We have a communication agency, hotels, a corporate hotel, an eco lodge. So we have something like tour operators and hotels, basically. Somebody else. We have 11 answers. You have to be very quick. We have to save time and keep moving. So please do it. Try to answer. The link is on the bubble chat, and also you have a code and the web address on the screen, so you can keep answer. We have like 33 participants and only 13 answers. So please try to answer more. Okay, we have 14. Okay, this will be a kind of introduction to you. So it's as you know, probably is very difficult to answer to any single of you. Which sector do you represent? So that's why I put this on the screen. And also, you have to know that at the end of the chat or the webinar, I'm going to send you the presentation with the results of the pools that we are going to have. We are going to have like different pools in different sections of the talk. So we are going to have those answers, and probably that will help you as a feedback of the discussion that we are going to have today. Okay, 18 answers. Okay, don't be shy, trying to put more answers. Okay, we have hotels, tour operators, a boutique hotel. Anyone else? Anyone else who wants to who else wants to participate? Okay, I think it's enough. Just in case, I will leave this pool open, so if some other people wants to answer, they can just just get in there and feel free to put your answer over there. So we're going to keep moving. So basically what we have here is some tour operators, hotels, and tour operator association, nice, and an eco lodge, and a communication agency. That's good. It's a very nice group. Probably most of the tips that we have prepared today could be useful for some of you. Okay, so the next questions I'm going to ask you, because it's also very nice, very important to me to know where you come from. It's which country you come from. So I'm going to pass you the next pool. So I would like to know where you come from. You come from Europe, from Africa, from Latin America. I will paste you the next link so you can start answering me which country you come from. Just a moment, please. I'm just going to copy and paste this into the bubble chat. Just a moment. Okay, there you are. You have the next link, and also you will going to find a code into the screen. You can get into that website and put the code. So, okay, nice. We have people from Ecuador, from Colombia, from Germany. We have from Africa, from Uganda, from Costa Rica, from Kenya. Okay, it's a very diverse group of people. Nice. So this is very important because this way I can have a better idea where you come from, which sector do you represent, and that will give me a feedback in order to adapt some of the tips that we are going to talk today. So keep answer. I will also open this pool, so you can get in there and put the answers over there. At the end of the webinar, we are going to see the total of answers, and also, as I told you, I'm going to put into the presentation so you can have a feedback of your partners and colleagues in this webinar. Thank you very much for that feedback. So now let's keep moving. First of all, we are going to do a review of the current status of the COVID-19 and the impact of the COVID-19 on tourism. So first of all, we are going to present some of the figures and data that we collect from the World Tourism Organization. They have do a lot of data process to estimate the impact that we're going to have regarding the COVID-19 on tourism. So in your screens, you're going to see a graphic that say that the COVID-19 is going to impact very strong to the travel industry. The World Tourism Organization estimates that we are going to decrease between 20 to 30% the number of arrivals in
Patricio,
the world.
Sorry for that. Can you please share your presentation screen? We are seeing
sure.
the Mentimeter screen. Thank you.
Sorry. My mistake. Thank you, Marco. Yeah, there you are. Okay. Could you confirm if you can see the screen, the presentation?
It's your picture. We see your picture, but not the presentation.
Sorry, technical problems. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Okay, I got it. I think I got it. Okay.
Now it's working. Thank you.
Okay, just let me fix this.
Perfect.
What about now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the World Tourism Organization estimate that the global impact in terms of tourism arrivals will decrease between 20 to 30%. That means that probably we are going to back into the past like 5 to 7 years. So we are going to have the same number of arrivals like we used to have in 2012, 2013. That is a huge impact. We haven't had this kind of impact in the history of tourism since the 1950s, where the World Tourism Organization started to analyze arrivals. If we also can see on the graphics the impact of other kind of crises that affect tourism. We can see, for example, the SARS effect that happened in 2003 that impact the tourism in a decrease on 1.4 decrease of tourism. And in 2009, when we have the global economic crisis, we have an impact of 5.4%. So you can see that this impact is very strong, haven't happened in the past. So we can have an idea of how the recovery could be, but we have to be very cautious because every day the impact, the effect is still going. So it's we can predict something, but we have to be very cautious about the real impact in the future. So the estimate global impact is this. I collect this data also for the World Tourism Organization. We are going to lose something like 290 to 440 millions of international arrivals. That means that we are going to lose 5 to 7 years in number of tourists. And in terms of money and economic tourism exports, probably we're going to lose, or the world is going to lose something about 300 to 450 billions of dollars. That's a huge economic impact. That means it's a third of the 1.5 trillions of tourism exports. That is the total of export that we have last year in 2019. So probably in this year we are going to lose the third of that quantity. So what happened with the travel sales and the growth? So in this graphic you can see the different kind of sectors and how those sectors are losing or decreasing their sales growth. So you can see the two main sectors that have been affected are airlines and cruise lines. So you can see at the end of the graphic that the cruise lines are losing something about almost 50% of their travel sales, and the airlines are losing something like 32%. This is where estimated until March, something about March, and probably, but now in May the losses are much more deep. Then we have hotels; they're losing 10%, but we know right now because of the lockdowns and the quarantine policies, the hotels are losing something like 20 to 30% right now. The OTAs, the online travel agency, they are also have a lot of decrease, 25%. Rental cars, not too much, but also they are losing a lot of sales. And the total of these sectors is something about 24%. That could match also the prediction of the World Tourism Organization. They predict something like the 20 to 30% of decrease, and this in a way can confirm that prediction. But there are some other sectors that not all the sectors are losing something, because there are sectors that are related to the global crisis. They probably are getting more, they're winning something, but also some other sectors that are losing something. As you can see on the graphic, the potential losers. The first sector is tourism and leisure, the first loser and the most impact industry. Then aviation and maritime and cruise lines, and then some other sectors that are also important, no? Automobiles, construction and real estate, manufacturing, financial services, education, and then we have a group of winners. Oil and gas, let's say that it's in the middle because now the price of the oil is getting down. That also is affecting the economy, but probably will rebound again. According the demand of oil will increase in the next weeks. Then we have some other sectors that are winners, like agricultures, because the people now in their lockdowns probably are requesting more products and supplies to keep safe in their homes. E-commerce, of course, they're one of the winners. There is more interactions on the internet, webinars, email, chats, social media. Then the technology and communications also is a winner. Personal health care, of course, the gel, alcohol, it's one of those supplies that the people are demanding in these days. Food and processed retails also because of supplies. And the first on the rank is the medical supplies and services. So what we can see here is depending of the type of crisis, depending the type of winner. And unfortunately, the tourism sector is the most impact industry. But also we have an history of tourism and crisis, and we can say that the tourism has a very strong resilience process. As after a crisis happened in the world, the tourism used to be one of those industries that used to have a very quick recovery process, and that we can see on the past crisis. As I mentioned before, we have some other crises here on the graphics. You can see three different kind of crises that happened in the last 20 years. September 11, you can remember the Twin Towers, the terrorist attack, didn't affect too much to the travel industry. Was a very quick shock, and then the industry get back again into the business and start to grow again. Then we have the SARS. You can see on the graphic was a small decrease, was a healthy problem also, and then the tourism get back again very soon and start to growing. And finally, the 2009 global economic crisis. We have a considerably decrease on tourism, but didn't last too much, probably 1.5 years, 2 years, and then the tourism was back into business again and start to grow again. And now we are in 2020. Of course, that this past crisis give us a clue, an idea that the tourism used to be a kind of industry that used to recover very, very, very fast. But since this kind of crisis is impacting directly the tourism business, we can predict that the recovery will be very slow. But finally, the tourism will come over this crisis and will start recovery in the future. Okay, so my first question to you is related to this impact. So I'm going to ask you another questions regarding the impact that you have received from your sites. So the question here is to see the kind of cancellations that you have received in your destination, in your hotels and your tour operators. So let me get into the pool. Okay, I'm going to ask you the level of cancellation that you have received. So the question basically is, what is the level of cancellation that you have received until June 2020? I'm going to paste into the chat the link so you can answer. And there you are. And I'm going to show you the presentation. So now you can see, and you can grab your phone, you can get into the website, and then you can start answer the question. You also have on the screen the code, the access code, so you can use it. It's 759394, and start to answer about the level of cancellation that you have received. There is some answers here. Now the people say they're receiving something like to 86% to 100% cancellations. So a full cancellation until June 2020. We will wait for some other people to answer the poll, and then we will continue. This is in a way, to see if the predictions of the World Tourism Organization are similar as the situation that we are facing from our organization or destinations. So the most of you are telling us that you are receiving cancellation from 86% to 100%. Very high cancellation rank. Okay, somebody else? We have 12 people. You can feel free to get in and keep answer. But until now, we have an idea. The cancellation has been very strong, and probably some of the predictions of the World Tourism Organization could be worse. That means that since the COVID-19 is spreading in some other countries in the world, the tourism industry also has been affected. So we can see that probably from your areas, from Africa or Latin America, now we are facing the worst time for the tourism industry, and probably we are facing the worst situation in terms of cancellation. We have to remember that in Asia, the countries in Asia, they are coming out from their quarantine process. They just came out. In Europe, the most of the countries, they just decide to start in a process to get out and start to back into the business again. Checking the figures of sick people, but at the same time trying to put the economy to work again. In Africa and Latin America, I think we are in the middle of the quarantine process. In the case of Ecuador, I think in Colombia, we are still have like 1 month more in quarantine process. And that means that people, tourists or travelers, won't be able to travel to these regions until probably end of May of the beginning of June. So that's why we have this kind of results. The most of the impact of the tourism business we are receiving right now in our countries. Okay, thank you very much. If some of you wants to keep answer, I will leave the pool open so you can be able to keep putting your answers. Okay, so we are going to see a review of the current status of the travel. We just see the impact of the COVID on the travel industry, and now we are trying to figure out some forecasts. I mean, what the expert studies and data are telling us about what's going on in the coming months. So this is a data that I collect from Spain. You have to remember that Spain is one of the most important tourist destinations in the world. I think it's between #1 and #2. Deloitte, a consultancy company, Deloitte, they developed this study, and it's in Spanish. Right? I will try to explain a little bit. So what we have here is different kind of economic sectors that Spain has classified, and trying to see the evolution of these sectors during the quarantine, then period of time they call it stabilization, and then period of time call it recovery process. Okay, so first we have the quarantine restriction time frame, where we can see the most of the sectors just get down, you know, before or under zero. The sector that is working well is the food sector, supplies, agriculture, that you can see on green in green lines. You can see that that sector is working, and then the other sectors like retail, food and beverage, travels and hotels are below zero. During the isolation and restriction period of time, they are below zero. But they predict that, and it actually is what is happening, that by the end of May, these activities will start to recover. The first thing that we can see is that they call it the travel sector. They say that the travel sector will start recovery with main priority travels. That means travels that the people will start to take, like some very necessary travels related to the crisis, like medical people, medical teams, or business travel or corporate travel that is necessary to start moving because of the economy is start moving. Then they say that the local tourism, in case of Spain, you can see in the red line, will be the first economic sector that will be open to business. Spain are predicting that in August, the most of the Spaniards will start to travel in the same country. They don't go outside. And then they predict that the MICE business, the meetings and incentive, probably by November will start to recovery. I mean, travels, business travel, conventions, events, meetings, probably will be recovered by November. And in the case of Spain, they believe that the international tourism, long haul travel, will start to recovery by the end of December and the beginning of 2020. The people believe in the last graphic that the Christmas will be a very humble Christmas, not too much spent, but will give a sign of recovery. Of course, this will depend on the destination that are addressing this crisis in a very strong way. Political decisions, economical decisions that will create the environment to a good recovery or a good sign for a recovery. Finally, the restaurants, you can see restaurants in the green line, restaurant, hotels, and cafeterias. They probably will stay in the same level. They have a very hard situation because the new protocols and the new demand from customers will be focusing in terms of safety, healthy procedures, sanitized procedure, and biosecurity procedures. That will depend on how these hotels and restaurants will face these situations and these concerns from their customers. And if they have the capacity to transmit confidence to their clients, probably they will have a recovery process. Will be a long recovery process, but finally they have a positive recovery process in the future. In this graphic, we can see in a better way in terms of the economic recovery process, how this is going to work. We have also the first one on the top is called saving. So if the people are saving or not before the crisis, during the quarantine process, and in 2020. These are some predictions that Deloitte has defined. So we have savings, for instance, the saving has been increasing in Spain in 80%, and then has increased more, 16% during the quarantine. That's are telling us that the people are saving money, saving cash, especially because they don't know what's going on in the future. It's better to have money on the pocket and has cash in the case that they need any kind of need, like supplies or something, or an emergency, on an emergency, and then they have some availability, some money available to use it. And then after the crisis, the people will increase a little more the save. So the people is going to be a little bit more cautious about the money on the pocket. Then we have restaurant sector. In Spain has been increasing the sales in 88%, and then suddenly to the quarantine period of time decreased to zero. So I mean no more sales, and then after the quarantine process, I mean for the 2020, the restaurants and hotels are going to increase in 7%. In a total, they're going to have a decrease in 5%, minus 5% for restaurant and minus 12% for hotels. And then we have the food industry. They have increased before the crisis like 17%. They have a huge increase during the quarantine time, something about 21%. And finally, they're going to be one of those sectors that will be a winner, like 17% of increase. In total, a 2% increase. Okay, what happened with the tourism recovery process in United States? We just saw the data from Spain, now from United States. United States is a very good kind of reference country if we want to see how the recovery process will be. So according to this study taken by McKinsey in February, they estimate that the tourism sector will be the last sector to recovery, and they estimate that the tourism industry will have positive recovery signs by the end of the year, the end quarter, the end or the final quarter of the year, 2020. That means that from the crisis that we are facing right now to the end of the year, something like 7 to 8 months of recovery process. But the process will be very long, very slow. It's not something very quick, and will also depending of the restrictions, travel restrictions, and new protocols that industry countries are going to use it for the future. Then you can see the other sectors that will have a faster recovery process. As I told you, and just also confirmed that the tourism industry is one of the most impact sectors during the COVID-19. Here is about future booking, anticipation of future booking. So this means that the people from UK, United Kingdom, and United States that have delayed or canceled their trips and probably are planning to travel again in the coming months. So this is the percentage of people that decide to delay their plans depending on the time span. So what we have here, and that for instance, in United Kingdom, the 28% of the internet users that they are booking on the internet, they say that they are going to book again or look for a book again in 7 to 9 months in the future. That that match with the same period of time that the other study tell us about the time frame that will take to recovery from the United States. And in the case of the United States, the most of the people, 18%, also they tell us that they are going to plan to rebook or book again in 7 to 9 months. Okay, there is some other percentages that also are telling us some of them are delayed more time their bookings, and some others they just cut their bookings or delay their bookings in less months, like 1 to 3 months, like the 20% in United Kingdom and the 15% in United States. That give us an idea about how the people are thinking that the recovery process will start again. And also this is part of a pool for internet users. The question about the percentage of the, digamos, from the delay or cancel trips, who plans to do the following with the money? That means what are the plans with the money that they plan to use it in a booking and they cancel or delay that booking. So the 43% of the people answered that they are saving the money, okay, and that 33% they are rebooking the vacation in another day. That is something very positive. That means that one of each 3 people in United Kingdom or United States are thinking to rebook the holidays. That is very promising. 25% are spending some other purchases. 14% spending on vacation, but in the same place, in a local holiday, something that we call it staycation. You know, that's probably one of the trends that we're going to see in the future. People traveling to nearby areas, stay in the same city, or just go outside the city to take some holidays in a weekend for just a couple days. The 12% are going to spend that money in day trips, something that is related to the other answer, and 10% they haven't decided yet, and the 10% spending on a wellness on a spa. That also could be connected because of the healthy issue that is related to the COVID-19. So what we can see here is that most of the people are saving money, but a very representative number of people is rebooking holidays to another day. That gives us a positive sign for the future of the travel industry. But what happened with different kind of generations, especially generation or travel generations? This is part of a pool that we're asking to different kind of generation about concerns related to the COVID-19. So in this pool, the 90% of the US and UK customers or consumers are concerned about the spread of the coronavirus. But the strength of this concern varies significantly by age. That means that the 96% of Generation Z are concerned. This drops to 90% among baby boomers. This means that the Generation Z, the young people, 18, 20, 21-year-old people, are more concerned than the baby boomers. This is could be very surprising, because the most of the people was thinking that since the baby boomers is a vulnerable generation, probably they could be more concerned about the COVID-19, and also could be more concerned about to travel during the recovering process. But this poll tell us that actually young people is more concerned about that. The poll also say that the 60% of Generation Z and millennials are very extremely concerned. So they really are afraid of the spread of coronavirus. And just the 40% of baby boomers are very extremely concerned. That also confirmed that the baby boomers are not so concerned as the Generation Z and millennials. And finally, the 90% of Generation Z are making changes to their daily lives. This compared to the 70% of the baby boomers. As a conclusion, we can say that that could give us an idea and about the concerns of different generations. Could be that the Generation Z and millennials, since they are more connected, or let's say hyper connected, probably they are receiving more information and data regarding the coronavirus. Probably that could cause their concerns, or they are very concerned. And probably the baby boomers, probably they are not too much connected into the internet or the social media, and probably that's why, because there are not so many connects. Anyway, that give us an idea about who will be the generations or the group of people that will start to travel again. Probably the Generation Z and millennials will be a start to travel again first, but since they are concerned, they will be looking for healthy and safety kind of procedures and protocols to follow if they want to feel more safe, or if they want to travel safe. And probably the baby boomers don't start to travel at the first stage. Probably they wait until probably they have the news that we have the vaccine or the cure, and probably after that, probably they start to travel. So this just gives us an idea what happened with different kind of generations. This comes from Condé Nast Traveler, a very popular specialized magazine in the United States and Europe. This is a cloud of words that is trying to represent the different kind of expectation that the people have according where to travel again, which country they would like to travel again. So as you can see, here are like very important destinations that before the crisis were on the top of the mind of the people. And after the crisis, and during the crisis, they're still on the top of mind of that of the people. So we can see Europe, Spain, and Italy. Just remember that Spain and Italy are those countries that were very, very affected by the viruses. But it seems that for the people, they still have like a strong kind of connection with the country brand or with the destination. I think that the positioning or the branding of those countries are very strong in the mind of the people. But also we can find some other destinations. We have South America, it's on the map. Galapagos, Machu Picchu, probably those are also brands that are very very strong in the mind in the mind of the people. We have some other. We have Africa in the top left corner. It means that also is in the top of mind of the people. In general, we can say that the people are still have a dream or an ambition to travel to those countries, and that give us an idea that probably we have a hope for recoveries for some destinations. That is very important, and give us idea that not all the windows are closed, and probably some destinations have an open window, and a space to start to communicate and promote to their customers, to the markets regarding their destinations, sending some messages about we are waiting, we are ready, we will be ready when you start to travel again. Don't forget us. That would be the kind of messages that we start to transmit, especially as we are in this group of destinations, because the people are still pending on us and having in mind to travel again in the future. Okay, here is some forecasts about, it's in Spanish, so I'm going to try to explain a little bit how the tourism industry is going to evolve in time, in the short term, in mid-term, and in the long term. According to the graphic that say that in the short term that we are going to have it's a lot of kind of operational. Just a moment, I think so. Sorry. Just sorry for the technical. Okay, we're going to have like a operative closure of hotels and tourism business. This will generate like a reduction of salary, and a lot of people will be. We are going to lose their jobs. Employment layoffs. Providers also are going to lose money because hotels and restaurants and tour operators are going to close. The expert recommend during this time to start to do like a asset evaluation, trying to create safety and secure plans, define protocols, start to design marketing plans. This is the time. So right now we are in that period of time where we have to start to thinking about how to address this kind of crisis. We have to evaluate our organizations. We have to start to review our financial position and status, and trying to start to do some actions in order to keep working in a way. Then in the midterm, the experts say that the tourism industry will take more time to get into the new normal if we compare this to the other industries and sectors, and because of the people will looking for security and safety, that also will influence in the recovery process. So during this period of time, this midterm, we have to start to find some solution, like to promote local tourism or nearby tourism or staycations, and start to working on prices in a kind of a strategy of prices. Low prices, yeah, could be, but not too low, trying to keep the experience alive, but trying to reduce costs and things like that. And in the long term, the experts say that in the case of the hotels, now is the chance or the opportunity for the hotels to start to do a difference with Airbnb. For instance, now that is the chance or the opportunity that the hotels has in the long term. How you can difference from Airbnb? An example is trying to have like a healthy or biosecurity protocols in your businesses, and trying to be more cautious about personal safety of hygiene procedures in your hotels. That is something that a hotel could be doing in the future, and not necessarily Airbnb will be able to do it in all their apartments or properties. Another tips that some experts tell us is that we have to start to develop a unique experience to motivate the consumer to get into the plane and travel. So that is another challenge that we have. Since the people are still concerned about travel, one of the ideas is to start thinking in new experiences that experience could motivate the travelers to start travel again. The experts say that the competition for prices, or the pricing competition, will last for a long term. Is something that will stay with us for many months, even years. So that means that the businesses, lodges, hotels, tour operators, has to be very efficiency in terms of cost, in terms of pricing, in terms of revenue, and trying to create very agile process. I mean, are more efficient as a company or institution or as a destination. Then we have to create contingencies plans, security and prevention plans, very strong, that look for the future in the long term. and can transmit confidence to their customers. And finally, some of the experts say that you have to create alliances or joint ventures, even with your competitions or with your suppliers. This is because the recovery process will be very slow, and a lot of companies could be facing bankruptcy. They could be out of business. So one of the ideas is that you can join to your competition and promote or strengthen a product or destination. In that kind of joint venture, you can join forces, and that can allow you to reduce costs or to be very aggressive in terms of promotion into the markets. That is the idea. And also you can start to have alliances or joint venture with your provider. If you're a tour operators, start to talk with your suppliers like hotels, like transportation or guides, and try to create alliances in order to be more efficient and more aggressive and more creative in terms of the products that you are going to promote for the future, because the low prices or will be a battle or war against prices or with prices, and you have to be with your best allies in order to face this phenomenon for the future. Okay, so here we go into our next question. The question is, how long do you think tourism will start to bounce back again? We saw some figures, some data. They were telling us that from Spain to United Kingdom to USA, the tourism will start to bounce back between 9 to 12 months, or some others say that between 7 to 8 months. So I'm going to ask you the question from your regions or your countries. I would like to have your opinion regarding how long this is going to last. So I'm going to paste the link into the bubble chat, so you can be able to start answer and telling us how long this is going to last from your perspective, from your country, from your businesses, according to the information that you have received from your customers, from the governments, from the markets. Or how long do you think this will start to bounce back again? Okay, there you have the most of the answers. For answer, they are telling us that they expect that the tourism will start to recovery from 9 to 12 months. Some other people, they're thinking that the recovery process will last between 12 to 8 months. Okay, and just to guide a little bit more, I am thinking, this question was thinking in terms of international travel, okay? Because the local travel in a way will start very soon, not too much, but very soon, after the quarantine process and the lockdown procedures will end. The people will start to move, they will start to move very close to their areas, their cities, their homeland. They're going to see the countryside of the same country. But I was thinking in the international process. What do you think? How long this will last? Okay, I think you have an idea. The most of you think that the tourism will start recovering in between 9 to 12 months. Okay, that gives us an idea. There are people more positive. They think that the recovery process will start from 6 to 9 months. And some other, they think that we lost more the recovery process and will start from 12 to 8 months. Okay, somebody else. Okay, you can get into the website and keep answer the question. I'm also going to open this pool, so you will be able to keep it answer, and we will keep continue. Okay. Okay, so we are going to see at the end of the webinar, we are going to check all the answers and finally see your opinion and feedback regarding these questions. So sorry. Okay, let's keep moving, and then we are going to talk about possible trends that will influence us. I mean, us as a person, us as a company, us a destination. I like this phrase, this quote from Darwin. It's something that Darwin said in their book, The Origin of the Species. Darwin said that it is not the most intelligent of the species that survives. It's not the strongest that survives, but the species that survives is the one that is able best to adapt and adjust to the changing environment in which it finds itself. Very intelligent, very smart quote. And this, I think this quote is just match with the situation that the tourism industry is facing. It's because now we have to adapt to the new environment that is happening now. This situation is changing every day, and we really don't know what happened or what will happen in 1 year or something like that. But the advice that I can give you is you have to be very flexible to trying to adapt day by day and trying to figure out in a way what the future is giving us or is showing us. So probably not necessarily the companies with more money or the companies with more infrastructure are the companies that will survive in the future. I think that the companies, destinations, and organizations that will survive will be those organizations that could be very flexible in terms to adapt to the new times. The new normal will has changed us, and in a way we have to change of that. Possible a lot of companies will be running out of business, but I think that the first cue or the first step to overpass this situation is to try to adapt to the situation and trying to be creative and trying to find solutions for the challenges that the COVID has put in front of us. Okay, so where the world will be after COVID-19. I took this from a philosopher and historian called Yuval Noah Harari. It's a man from Israel that wrote a very famous book called Sapiens. He wrote a very nice article in the Financial Times, the newspaper, regarding where the world will be located or situated in the future after the COVID-19. He give us an idea and say that the world would be between 4 kind of factors or situations in the future. He said that in this crisis, in this time of crisis, we are going to face 2 particularly important choices. The first is between totalitarian surveillance and citizens' empowerment. The second is between nationalist isolation and global solidarity. I put the Earth, you can see in the red graphic, the Earth, I put in that location. I believe, I think, and I hope I won't be wrong, but I believe that the world will be situated in the future between the citizen empowerment and the global solidarity. I think that because I have seen some signs during the crisis. I have seen that the people has empowered themselves and trying to find solutions. And at the same time, I have seen signs in the world regarding solidarity, people helping other people, people taking their own decisions, people trying to be active in this crisis and be proactive, more than active, proactive, and trying to find solutions and trying to help some other people and trying to resolve a lot of situations, economical, healthy situations, and social situations. But this author tell us that probably if we don't take the right decisions, probably the work could be in some other areas that could be very complicated for us. For instance, we can be located between nationalist isolation and between totalitarian surveillance. That could be a very problem. What is that? Because he said that probably some countries can start to have very strong restrictions, protocols in terms of travels. They don't want to allow have people in their countries because they are afraid or they have fear that the COVID-19 start to spread into their population. And in the other side, this totalitarian surveillance could be another factor, very a very strong factor, because I don't know if you have saw on the news, but on the airports, at the arrivals of the airports, at the entrance of the country, there were people using scanners, thermometers, temperature sensors to trying to scan the temperature of the people and try to see if they have fever or not. And that could be something that could happen in the future also. And the problem is that this kind of technology also is not just able to take the temperature from you, but also can see your emotional status. This kind of sensor can detect if you are happy, if you are in stress, if you are angry, etc. And that also could be very aggressive in terms of privacy. So the idea is that we can do our best to put the war in the corner between citizen empowerment and global solidarity. Since we are hyper connected right now, we're using smartphones. We have a lot of apps, and technology is just around us. That technology could be used against us, and it won't be very peaceful for us to travel or to move around if we feel that we have been checking by a government or something like that. I don't know if you have no, but in some countries, they demand to the people to download an app to see if they have COVID-19, and you have that app on your smartphone. You can see how you are moving and if you are in contact with some other people, and trying to warning the other people that somebody infected is in that area. So that could be positive in time of crisis, you know what I mean, because we can prevent, put a lot of people together. But after that, could be very dangerous, because the people, the governments and companies and corporations could know exactly where you are and what you are doing, and collect that data. We can get some interesting information from that data, but also if that data is not used in a proper way, could be used against us. So that is the idea, trying to balance this, but at the end, trying to put the war between the citizen empowerment and the global solidarity. Okay, I wrote an article about how the new generations will will act and will be in the future, and I am found this article called the 10 pillars for the recovery. According to this, the Dr. Ross Honeywell, he said that these 10 pillars that after the looming of economic recession will be characterized by 10 pillars of how the people will act and be after the COVID-19. He said that these 10 pillars are based first in purpose and meaning. He put some quotes next to these pillars. The quote he put is, "If I am not fully immersed, I am just a spectator." If we translate this to the travel industry, we can say that probably the people that will start to travel again will find immersed experiences, trying to be in personal contact with experiences. Of course, that will be afraid of the personal contact with people and community, but at the same time, they will be willing to have first contact experiences, trying to immerse in their experiences, trying to interact in the destination and with the people in that destinations. Then we have the other pillar called control. He said that we are taking back control in every part of our lives. Probably after this crisis, we will feel that we have more control in our lives because we decide to stay at home. We decide how to act during this crisis, and in a way that period of time teach us a way to have control in our lives, and probably we are going to act more responsible in the future when we start to travel again. Then he say sustainability and social conscience, donate, protect, care, support, foster. That means that probably people will be more sensitive to nature, to the environment issues, to the climate change, to the social situation of the people and the communities, and probably will start to be more able to donate, to protect, to involve in actions to take care of the planet and the people. Then he said the other pillar is hyper local, and the quote is, "At home or across the globe, I want an intensively local experience." That can support the number one pillar. But we can say here that since we will be more connected because the technology during this, because of the COVID during this crisis, give us the chance to have more connectivity with the internet, with the technologies. And that probably will keep affecting us in the future, and probably will be more connected, but not just with technology, but also we would like to have connected with local experiences. Then we have something called human scale. I wrote a different kind of articles and blogs that the people is telling that in the future, the people will be more concerned about human scale experiences. We will be looking more authenticity, artisanal, deliciousness, and beauty. We'll appreciate more that, and we would like to be more connected with experiences that can give us that human scale. Then we have the number six. Think small. Stop shutting us. We just want the quite true. You have to think small. Don't be more ambitious. Think in the details. Slow down in a way. Trying to enjoy the experience. Don't rush. That's probably are the concept around this number 6 pillar. Then we have incapricious consumption. experience something extraordinary that just fires. That means something like an extraordinary experience, something that can change my life, a transformational experience. If we are going to travel again, the people probably will be looking for an experience that change their lives once they go back to their homes. That is that pillar. Then we have the digital acceleration, expanding new online channels, live streaming, and connectivity. As I tell you before, this hyper connectivity, these digital connections is going to be more deep for us, and we have to be prepared to trying to prepare our travels, our experiences with a lot of digital connection with the world. Then we have the number 9 pillar, post-material mindset. That means betterment in mind and body, art, culture, personal changes. I will say also, we are going to find not just the cure for our body, but also we will be looking the cure from our souls and minds. So the people will change their mindsets. They will be more sensitive. They will be probably no too much cash driven. Probably will be more responsible with the world, with their itself. Eat healthy, appreciate the art and the culture, be more open to the world, and this is something that will happen. Not suddenly, I think that will happen step by step. Finally, inclusion, hyper-focused subject or purpose in online communities of interest. That means that the people will be more connected with their social media and probably will have the chance to share more about their personal lives. Or probably their social media posts will be more deep, or their posts will have more purposes. Probably with publish less garbage or trash in our social media, and probably we start to put more important things, and also trying to interact with our social contacts in a better way, in a more sensitive way. Okay, you can check this author, Dr. Ross Honeywell. He has more articles regarding these trends in the future, and you can learn a little bit more about what will happen in the future. Okay, so I'm going to have the next pool. This is regarding which factors will influence the people when making a travel decision for the future. I'm going to ask you that so we can have an idea about what you think the people will take in consideration to have a travel decision. Just let me copy and paste the link into the bubble chat. There you are. Also, you can see on the screen the question, and you can see the code if you want to use it. The question is, which factors will influence the people when making a travel decision? What kind of factors do we have there? We have health and well-being, like security, price and promotion, the travel experience, distance to the destinations, sustainable products, local communities involvement, paperwork and travel requirement or travel restrictions. Which factor do you think will be the most important that the people will take in consideration to have a travel? What will be that factor, the main factor? Okay, the most of the people say that it will be health and well-being, the first factors. Obviously, probably the people will think in that the first factor to take a travel decision. Then the travel experience does give us some promising future for tour operators, hotels. So it's something that probably we can start to working on that. We can start to working on some protocols and procedures related to health and well-being in our properties or businesses, and then also start to working in the travel experiences, the experiences in my hotel, in the services and the programs that I have. Price and promotions, they come later. Okay, so the most of the people thinks that the main factor will be health and well-being, and then the second most important factor is the travel experiences, how authentic could be the experiences. And then if the product is certified as a sustainable product, price and promotion. And as a sustainable products, probably you can think in the coming future. And I know that, for instance, TourCert is working to improve their criteria regarding safety, security, health. So probably we will going to have in the future sustainable certifications that include those factors, the health and well-being factors, as a main factor in order to certify if a destination, if a hotel, if a tour operator could be considered something like COVID-free or COVID safe or a safe destination, safe hotel, etc. Okay, so for the most of you, health and well-being will be the most important factors that influence people when making a travel decision. I'm going to leave open this pool so you can keep answer for the people that is not answered yet, and then we will keep moving in our webinar. Okay, sorry, just let me back to the presentation. Okay, so you keep answer the question and we will keep moving. Okay, so what does the future hold? Okay, today there is anguish and uncertainty. There is no crystal ball to show us the future. That's a main problem. Nobody has a real panorama, a real horizon that can show us. But there are some signs that give us a clue. That is the important thing. There are some clues there that we can follow and give us signs about what happened in the future. One of the ideas is you can check what airlines, hotels, cruise lines, and restaurants are doing right now. Some of them are actually doing interesting things. Airlines are doing interesting things. They are, for instance, they are having less contact with the passengers. They are not filling all the planes. They're having some empty seats on the planes, on board the planes, trying to give some safe distance. Of course, that in airplanes there are no the minimum 6 feet distance, but they are trying to give some or transmit some confidence to the public, to the passengers. Cruise lines also are taking action and are modifying their operations. Some cruise lines are having programs with less days, to save destinations, and also they are not having too much people on board. Some experts are telling us that some cruise lines are going to take the big boats or the big cruise lines out of business, and they'll probably start to use boats or cruise ships with less capacity in order to give an idea of safety. Also, some people are telling us that for instance, Lufthansa in Germany, they start to tell us that one of the requirements they are asking to the passengers is to use a mask if you want to board an airplane. Or some cruise line like Carnival, I think, or some other cruise line are thinking to have a quick test or COVID test to the passenger before boarding the ships. So the idea is that you can start to check what the hotels, airlines, and restaurants are doing. Some restaurants, for instance, I checked the website, and I found some restaurant in Spain. They are putting like a kind of crystal shields or plastic shields between tables, and trying to give the idea to give the sensation of safety. I found a restaurant in Amsterdam that create a kind of crystal capsule, with around the tables that isolate the tables from the other tables outside the restaurant to give idea of safety dinner. So you can check on the internet that you will find very interesting kind of actions, protocols, ideas, and then that can give us a clue of what will happen in the future. But one thing I would like to tell you is that you have to have like a bifocal look. I mean, two kind of views. The first view to see the day by day. You don't have to lose what happened with the day by day with this crisis. But at the same time, you have to think about the future, trying to figure out how the future will look like. So the idea is to use those kind of views, the short-term view and the long-term view, in a kind of bifocal look. So you have to use those kind of views to trying to have decisions. You will need to have decisions right now, okay, in terms of your company, your business, your marketing, and also at the same time you have to start designing the vision of your company or your products in the long term. Okay, what happened with the travels in the future? I just create these ideas from different kind of data, information, articles, and here I would like to just have a time to suggest something. Trying to find information that could be useful for you, but don't try to have all the information, because if you want to get all the information, you will get confused. That's one of the tips I would like to give you. Trying to find just information and trying to analyze the information and use it if the information will be really useful for your business, for your company. Don't try to get all the information from different kinds of sources, but that will create confusion, and you will spend or waste a lot of time to have an idea of your company future. Okay, so here's a couple of ideas I believe the travels will look like in the future. The first one, travel will be in small groups with a minimal distance. I mean the social distance during the trip. So this is the first idea that the people are talking about. Not too much groups. If you are asking me how much people in a group, I will say something like 5 to 6. Why that number? Because I believe the first groups that will start to move will be the family of the friends. And probably the family will be a family of 5 or 6. And the friends will be the more close friends that you are going, or the people going to have. So that is my idea of a small groups. Why those groups? Because the family, in a way, you have an idea what is the health condition of that people, because in the first place it's very close, so you know that they will be healthy. If they are sick or they are or they have the COVID-19, probably you will know, and that will give you the idea if you go in a trip with that person or without that person, or in a family. The same with the friends. So if it's a close friend group, you will know if that people of the people in that group will be healthy, doesn't have any kind of issues with the COVID. That's for me the small group situation for the future. Then the travels will be safe but also healthy. So the people will take care or pay attention to the safety procedures in airlines, hotels, restaurants, destination activities with communities, etc. But at the same time, I believe that the people will be very worried or will be having a very concern about healthy. And that means because the food, for instance, probably the people will look for healthy food because they want to increase their defense, the antibodies in against the COVID. Probably they will looking for a health food, or probably they will avoid food that they believe that will be a risk in terms to their health. Accommodation, comfortable rooms, healthy rooms, things like that, or activities, activities give us a sensation of health, or the people will feel healthy if they are going to do some physical activity. So for me, it's not just safe, but also healthy, how the travels will look like in the future. Nearby and more traditional destination. But also, and this is because for safety and healthy reasons. Why nearby? Because if you are concerned about travel, you prefer to don't go too far away. You would like to stay close to your family, to friend, to your home. If something happened, you can go back very quickly. And no traditional destination because probably you don't want to have in the middle of a lot of people in a crowd. So probably you will prefer to non-traditional destination, open areas, natural areas, national parks, national reserve, small communities, isolate places will be those destinations that the people will start to prefer. A place where they can stay with their group, with their family, or with their friends. Health and control, that will happen in airports, in hotels, in restaurants. So we are going to see a lot of scanners, thermometers around all those places and businesses. And we have to be accustomed to travel in that kind of environment. Probably the airports will be those point of contacts where we're going to have body scans and things like that will check us the temperature, the temperature of our body, but also check our healthy conditions. What you can see on the photograph on my right is not a hospital. It's a front desk in a hotel here in my country, in Ecuador, in Quito. This is a hotel that decide to have attention to people that want to spend their quarantine process in those hotels, people that come from abroad and want to stay for 15 days before to return to their homes. But for me, it's something that probably will be the look of the hotel in the future. Not people with biosecurity supplies and items, masks, covers, shields, gloves, and this is something that we have to get accustomed to see it in the future. And those health controls will happen also in hotels, as I mentioned. Then we have service providers with biosecurity and social distance standards. That means if you're a restaurant, if you're a hotel and you have a supplier that supply foods, that supplies different kind of items that you need in your daily operations, probably you will face in these kind of protocols, distance, social distancing, how the products are going to be delivered in your restaurant, in your tour operator, in your hotel, in your eco lodge. So this is something that will happen and will happen in the future. And also it's something that we have to, in a way, show and communicate to our customers, because the customers will have a lot of questions and doubts and concerns regarding the food that they are receiving, the supplies they are receiving, or the service they are receiving. The customer will start to asking about how this came into the hotel. In a way, we have to find ways to show the customers that we are using right protocols or health or safe protocols that secure or assure that the people are receiving salty health, clean in their rooms, in their tables, etc. Then number 6, how the travel will be in the future, sustainable experiences with a high level of social responsibility. I think that this crisis, this COVID-19 crisis, has created in the people, in the travelers, in the people in general, an idea or a sensation of responsibility. We are more sensitive. We are more connected with the social issues in the world, with the healthy issues, and with the environmental issues. So probably the people that will start to travel again in the future will be looking for those sustainable experiences. And we would like to have like a kind of duty with the local communities or the local economy, and we like to keep more locally, you know, and trying to feel and understand that the money that they are giving is useful for that community, for that country, for that destination. Probably we are going to facing new travel restrictions in the future. Probably if we are going to have a new contagious wave of or a new wave of contagious in the world, people are talking about second wave. People they are getting sick again. That's probably will happen until we find a cure. But we think, or I think that we are going to have like seasons, you know, seasons where the governments allow you to get into the country, or seasons that allow you, that the country allow you, or the government allow you to travel outside or to travel in. So we have to prepare to have like different kind of seasons, different than the high or the low seasons that we used to have in the past. Probably seasons that are related to the how the virus spread, the speed of spread of the viruses in some countries or regions. So we have to be able to react to those seasons, be able to have prices, programs, or travel programs adapted to these new seasons related to travel restrictions put it by different kind of governments and countries and destinations. So this is a way to show you how the future could be in the travel industry. Then we have, this is the photographs, the most of them came from from Asia, from Singapore, I think, from Japan. So they are ready, for instance, they already are organizing the transportation in the subway, deciding seats where you can sit and some other seats where you can't sit. Then we have a bioscan in an airport in Hong Kong, where this bioscan allow you, when you get in 40 seconds, can this machine can scan, do like a completely body scan and define if you are sick or not, and give you the chance to get in board of a plane. Then we have on a plane the flight attendant, how they will look like, mask, plastic shields, mask, and gloves, and a complete bath suit or medical suits, and just serving the food in a proper way for this time. Probably some people are telling us that the airlines are trying to have less contact with passengers. Probably the food will be served in a package, in a completely sealed package, and probably you won't receive any kind of beverage on board. Probably they are going to give you the beverage directly in a can, completely sealed and safe. And finally, a way how a restaurant in also I think in Japan define how the restaurant has to work. You know, you can see those lines dividing the tables and put it a safe distance between customers, but also the customers using a mask while they are going to go to eat out. More ideas, you know, in the airports, trying to distribute the people and put it some distance between the people with some protocols using like masks and things like that. This is the restaurant that I was telling you about, the cabins, the crystal cabins, where they can isolate the customers, the guests, and the people can have like a safety dinner outside. The world will be more sustainable. The people will be looking for more sustainable and social responsibility products on destinations and businesses. This is some picture that actually are happening right now. People using masks in their tours, or room a hotel with a sanitized process. It's not just a clean process, but probably a sanitized process, something more deep that give an idea of to their guests or customers that the room is completely safe. So you can see that for us, probably some airlines will face in that in the future. This is a video that I would like to show you about American Airlines. One of the procedures that they are actually using right now. Probably they are going to change some of them, but this give us an idea about what happened with the airlines. Could you confirm that you can hear the audio? Sorry.
No, we can.
Okay, so what you can see on the video is the way how American Airlines is working right now with their flights and with their passengers on board. It's possible that in the future the people is still or the companies, the airlines will have some other protocols, but at this moment they are trying to have the safe distance between passengers, trying to take the temperature from the clients before to be on board. So this is an idea, or they are trying to communicate the idea that the flights are safe. Of course, that an airline, the space in an aircraft is very reduced, is very small. So we have to see what happens in the future if the people really wants to be in a small space, and which will be those protocols that airline will have to transmit confidence to their customers. What happened with the travelers? Okay, I think that the travelers will be more demanding and suspicious. Okay, we have to bear in mind that kind of situation. Because of this crisis, the people will make more questions, will be more suspicious about the problems that we have in terms of safety, security, about the kind of programs that we are going to sell them, a kind of rooms that we are going to have in our hotels, question about the services. So if in the past we will start to have demanding people, this will be these demands, these this aspect will increase more in the travelers. They will be more suspicious. They will ask more questions. They will have more doubts about what happened with the services, with the travel, with experiences. The travelers will be more sensitive to safety. That includes, as I told you in the other slide, that include the food and the activities, not just healthy food, but safe, not just normal activities, but they will be more sensitive to a matter of safety, not just the health, but also the level of the risk. Okay. What else? The travelers, they will focus on eco-conscious and sustainability. As I told you before, the travelers will be more sustainable travels because the people will be most focusing in terms of social responsibility and sustainability. The travelers will be more vulnerable. Vulnerable generations will avoid risky trips, like as the baby boomers. But as I told you in the other slides, the other generation, the Generation Z, the millennials, also they will were concerned about the travel or their trips. So we have to ensure the right kind of protocols and transmit the right kind of protocols to our customers. It doesn't matter if they are baby boomers or millennials or from Generation Z. They are going to pay without wasting. That means that the people we're looking for the value of the experience, not just pay the price, but they're going to compare the price with the value of the experiences. And that is something that will be more constant, more frequent in the future. The people, probably the people don't want to waste time, waste money, because they are thinking that this crisis or another crisis will repeat again. So the people will be more cautious about wasting money, and they will really evaluate the experiences they are going to have in their trips. They are going to look for companies, products, and services and experiences with a good reputation and a soul. It's something that I believe that those companies, small ones, hotels, tour operators, that can transmit confidence to their customers, and probably they have a good reputation, will have an advantage from some other companies. So you have to work on that. If you have a good reputation, don't lose that. Trying to increase that or amplify that, trying to use your reviews, your customers' pools, trying to use it right now, trying to have the best reviews from the customers and use it in your websites, because the people are afraid to travel. When they find a review, a good reputation, probably that will create a good connections with a potential client or potential traveler. We think that the travelers will have a kind of medical passports. And I put there is a technology, blockchain technology, as the cryptocurrencies, that will help in that. And these people are working on that. The World Health Organization is working in kind of technology to have your medical history in a kind of passport and digital digital information, well preserved or safe, in a way that you can access to that and show you to airlines, hotels, or governments, and have the authorization to get into a country, into airplane, into a hotel. So, but at the same time, this technology will allow you to preserve your personal data. So it's against any kind of hacker or somebody can take and use that personal information. We think that that is going to develop in the coming months. So when you will be, or your medical records will be storage in a safe place, and you can access there in a safe way, and you can use it in real time to show airlines, hotels, and governments that you're COVID-free or something like that. Probably we are going to start to see that the travelers will be using biosecurity items and supplies like mask, like alcohol gel. They will traveling with that, gloves, things like that. And probably the people will start to selling that kind of supplies and items in the future. This is something that I found on internet, how the people would be, for instance, in a match, in a soccer match or basketball match, in a safe way. You know, they can isolate from the people around there. Also, in the right side of the slide, you can see somebody that can have something like a hat, mask, and buff that cover the face, and at the same time can give the idea to safe distance between some of the passengers. This is something that the people are still looking for, are just begin to looking for, especially the people in Asia. They're looking for a travel. So this is something that will be common in the future. If you're a tour operator, a hotel, or eco lodge, you can start thinking about to design or to create this kind of items to supply your customers. If they don't have it, you can, I don't know, you can buy it, or you can supply to your customers. But it's something that the people will be looking for. Okay. This is crazy things that we can find people, you know, in a bubble, in a plastic bubble in the park. This is something that you know, if somebody was telling me that the people will be going to the park as this lady, probably 2 months ago, I was thinking that this won't be possible. That will be a crazy to thinking something like that. But now, probably this is going to be something that will happen in parks, natural areas, city parks, green areas. And yeah, let's keep calm and take a staycation. That means that the people will start to move into nearby destinations. I have the next pool is just to ask you about what kind of products will be the most common in the future of the travel. What kind of products the people will prefer? Adventure products, ecotourism, agrotourism. This is the question. So let me share the link. Yes.
So can you hear me? Just wanted to inform you that we have now spent our scheduled time. 2 hours are over right now. I would like to know how much you still need for your presentation, and there is also a question already if there could be some questions now, questions or comments right now that seem to be there. So first, what do you think? How long you need, and is it possible to answer some questions right now?
Okay, I will start with the last question. I think it's a good moment if the people wants to do some questions through the chat or activate their microphone. Probably we can do like a break and start to listen those questions, and then I can start to answer that.
Yeah.
after that, probably if the people allow me, I will need like 10 minutes more to end my presentation. I just almost the end of the presentation, and if you allow me like 10 minutes, I will just end. I will appreciate that. So I don't know, probably we can start with some questions and comments, complaints, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, so that's good. So I would like to propose that we invest 15 to 20 more minutes. And now, if someone has questions, please feel free to post them on the bubble, in the bubble, so we can take a look and answer. And meanwhile, Patricio can ask you for answering the Menti question right now.
Yeah, you can do me. Yes, somebody is.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, Ivan, please feel free.
Okay.
Feel free.
Patricio, thank you very much for such interesting information that give us two operators. I represent a two operator here in Germany, and that give us a lot of confidence for our actions in the market, because now we have to be very careful with our investments. And although the future is uncertain, with the comments you have done, with the contributions, we have a better clear panorama. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I want to share very shortly with all the participants a little bit of the panorama here in Germany. In terms of measurements, the measurements that you show, you clarify that they were for Asian travelers. No, they are more strict when they want to travel, the distance they will to keep, but that is a culture adapted. Speaking from Germany, in Germany, people are missing a lot of social contact. And I see now in the street, we never, at least here in the north, we never had quarantine. No, we had social limitations, but we were allowed to go out. And for this culture, for the German culture, I'm sure that they wouldn't want to have such a limitation with plastic barriers, because I see that already in the public transportation. And for that is positive from one side, and by the other side, because the German tourists are very aware of plastic and pollution and sustainability. And this is also something that we have to need to take into account, because the amount of trash produced by masks, by gloves, all these supplements are huge right now after 1 month. So it's a kind of invitation to all my colleagues in the sector to be aware of that, use them, of course, as you propose very nicely when it's needed, but also ask to other, or think of other measurements which are less polluted, or possibilate more interaction with communities, with society, because that is one at least German travelers like to do. And also they expect to, when traveling abroad, they like to get in touch with the local people, yeah, and not to travel just to be in a bubble. That was very shortly. Thank you very much again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ivan. You have touched very interesting, facts. And actually, before this crisis, the world, the people was very concerned about the single-use plastic bags. Probably some of you have remembered that there was almost like a global movement about how to avoid single-use plastic bags. And now, when the crisis came, then we start to see on the TV, on the social media, that you have to use a mask, a disposable mask, and gloves and things like that. What Ivan said is the right. One of the key things here will be to travel with the right protocols. But the first one is the social distancing is the first thing. And probably I am very sure that technology will give us in the short term some answers about a lot of items and supplies that we can use and reuse. And probably this will happen very soon. I'm very sure of that. But also, if we can handle as a tour operators, hotels, protocols, that is important, the protocols, that means a lot of criteria or a checklist that can give us the opportunity to show to the customers that they are safe. That was the most important thing. And also, you know, as I told you, sustainability, social responsibility is also is a fact, is something that will be a worry or would be a concern for the customers in the future. So single-use plastics, the waste of those single plastic, because it's not just the single-use plastic or items that you are going to dispose of. It's because it has a possible contamination in it. So it's double risky, 2 times risky. So the idea is that you can find right protocols, and probably in your sector, probably your government, probably some organizations are now working in those protocols. The idea is to do something very simple, very easy to understand from the people, and very responsible in terms of waste or waste management for hotels, tour operators, and things like that. As I showed you in the photograph, you can see some items that the people will be using for not just single use, that they can, you know, keep using during their holidays. For instance, you know, these kind of mats or shields or globes or hats with a shield. And probably the people who wants to have an advantage for their competitions will be those people that at the same time is giving some secure to their customers, but at the same time is using very responsible kind of materials, very responsible kind of protocols, and at the same time you protect the safety of your customer, but at the same time protect the environment and don't create more waste. So thank you, Ivan. This is a very important thing, and the people will be looking for that kind of issues in the future. I don't know if somebody else wants to have another kind of question or comment. Please feel free to open your mic or send us a text into the bubble chat. Okay, you can be free. Marco, I don't know if you agree with me, but I will continue. But if the people want to do questions, feel free. Don't worry if you want to interrupt me. The idea is to save time, accomplish with a presentation, but at the same time get your feedback. And please free. You can send me by, you know, you can activate the microphone, or also you can send me a text into the bubble chat. So let's keep continue. Sorry if I will hurry up. I would like to try to end the presentation. So here I'm going to guidelines to create a marketing plan for during crisis. I like this quote from Picasso: "Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working." What does this mean? That means that, yeah, we have to be very creative during this process. Now we are sitting in our homes, you know, working online, and then we start to have a lot of kind of ideas of how to address this situation. No, ideas about the price, the products, the services. Ideas have to create new brands for our products, for our experiences, exactly. But the problems here is we have to put those ideas and prioritize those ideas. Don't try to create like a rain of ideas and trying to solve all the kind of situations. The idea is to focus and trying to planify or try to planning or create a planning process into the action plan that you are going to have. Not just to have crazy ideas. Crazy ideas are great. Creativity is great, but you have to put those ideas into a planning frame. You have to, because you will need resources, you will need human resources, economic resources to put those ideas to work in. So the thing is not just stay on the ideas, try to move those ideas and try to planning the future in your company and your products and programs. Now is a moment to reflect. analysis, within analysis. You have to analyze how our world is changing. You have to think about if you are going to create or you are going to do something with your company. First, try to understand how the world is changing. You have to think about how this affect our sector. If you're in a hospitality sector, if you're in a tour operator sector, trying to analyze how the COVID-19 is affected that sector. Okay, this is that. What I mean is that you have to start from the world, the big idea, then go down to this your sector, and then start to think in your clients, how our clients are changing and will change, because they will change. So your clients, yeah, probably your clients are something close to you. You know, you knew them, but now they are changing as well as we are changing. So it's important to see the history that you have with your client, but also it's important how the client will be in the future. Trying to analyze that. I will tell you how to do that. How the marketing will be. I give you a couple ideas before, you know, sustainability, social responsibility, safety, security. Probably the marketing plans in the future have to use those drivers in their marketing plan. So you have to analyze how that marketing will be in your company, how will be those tools that you are going to use. The online tools probably will be the more important tools at this moment. But don't forget the offline tools, because in certain point in time, you probably will be start to using that line. But this will be a nice time to trying to reduce, for instance, brochures or paper, you know, because at the same time, the people are not receiving that kind of material right now, and probably will be receiving less in the future. And this is the time to design to change the physical brochure to the digital brochure. They use the PDF, or try to expand or extend your website tools, your social media tools, your blogs, etc. You have to give your products and brands. I mean, we have to think about how our products and brands can generate value to our customers. Es decir, I mean, you have to analyze how the products that I have for the future will give more value for our customers. I also told you the drivers, no? Safety, security, sustainability, responsibility could be some drivers to help me to add value to our products and services. We have to take a time to answer this question: how important will be to make this value tangible? I mean, how the people will connect with the value that I'm thinking, how these experiences will give the value that I want to give. I mean, social distance in one hand, inclusion and connection with local community the other hand. How we can do, how we can create value, tangible value in those factors. And finally, how to make my product a different experience. What is that? Because everybody now are in the same stage. All tour operators, big ones, small hotels, eco lodges, destination, we are in the same stage. Let's say that we are in the starting point, okay? Everybody is in that starting point because nobody is receiving nothing right now. So we are in the same starting point. That means that all those businesses, including your competition, other destination, hotels, providers, suppliers, will start to working to be different from the rest. So there is a lot of people will start to create a different experience. So we have to analyze how my business will have a different experience. I also give you the general drivers, but you have to think in the soul of that future experiences for your customers. Okay, some opportunities that we have to take that we can take advantage right now. The first one, we have time. This is important because everybody has stopped their operation and some other just slow down, but you know, we have time, and with that time, the first thing that we have to do is to look inside our organization and improve. Okay, so trying to see your organization right now and trying to find if you can correct or improve some aspect of your organizations. Okay, see what things you have been doing well and what things you have been doing wrong, and trying to change that. You have to check your financial status. You have to change your human resources, your collaborators, your supply chain. You have to check your promotion, your budget. It's now time to look inside and check everything. Don't desperate. That's something that I'm going to ask you. Don't desperate. You have to take a deep breath. Everybody is in the same situation. Everybody is losing money. Everybody is in a bad situation. But the first thing that you have to do is slow down, take a deep breath, and then start to look inside your organization. You must to have a revenue vision of your principles as a company and a way to think as an organization. So trying to think the new vision of your organization, trying to think in the new kind of organization, how will be, how more efficient will be, it will be more flexible, how that will be, trying to figure it out, try to have ideas with your team about how to adapt to the future. Being the company, organization, destination that our tourists or your customers need. Think in your customers, think in the concerns and in the expectations that your customers have for the future, and trying to be that company that will solve and or resolve the conflicts, the concerns that the customer will have for the future. Okay, I like this quote also. The most damaging phrase in the language is, it is always been done that way. Because right now, we have to change. We don't have to do the same as we used to do it. So please, this is the first thing. Change, evolution, adaptation. Think in that in your organization, and think in that in your marketing plans. So you have to have an operational vision in the short term, operational, cash flow, cost, human resources, what you have. So put in a position where you can analyze those factors. But at the same time, try to see the strategic vision, the long term, how the world will be with me, with my organization in it, not without me, with me. How my organization will be in that future. So you have to think, to start thinking in ideas, products, programs, itineraries, services, facilities, infrastructure. You have to put those ideas in the long term. You have to have execution capacity. You have to be able to do things, because if you won't be able, things won't happen. So trying to find what kind of execution capacity do you have, what you can do. Okay, have a minimum of workforce. I know for some companies, hotels, restaurants, their collaborators are not any longer with you. Some of you probably has to say goodbye to your collaborators, but you have to stay with somebody else. Have a minimum of workforce. In this workforce will be your task force, the people that will start to work with you. Don't think alone. Trying to connect with some other people. If your business is very small and you don't have somebody else, call your competition, call your suppliers, and trying to create a task force in order to create ideas and try to create solutions for the problems that probably all of you are sharing right now. You have to be willing to take risk. Now is the time to take risk. You don't have to lose anything right now, because if you don't move, probably you will disappear. Now it's time to take risks, because the only thing that you probably will lose will be money, which at this moment we not necessarily needs money. We necessarily needs ideas and an action plan to start to working. So take risk. You have to take risk because it's a matter of life or death. You know, you have to take the risk. You have to move forward. You have to have resilience capacity. If we understand the resilience factor, sorry, resilience is the capacity to recovery, okay, very quickly from difficulties. So you have to have that capacity, or you have to be willing to recover very fast. You have to be patient, okay? This situation is moving very slow, and don't rush, because doesn't matter if you rush, the world will be slow. So have patience and trying to figure out ideas, plans, and trying to do activities or figure out those activities with patience. Don't rush too much. Another thing very important, generate empathy with clients and suppliers. That's what means call them, call your clients, tell that, ask them if they are okay, ask them if they need something from you, call your suppliers, ask the same question, how they are doing, what they need, you know, but don't call the client of the suppliers and ask them to renegotiate, to change the policies or the prices or the cancellations. First, you have to create empathy, you know. If not, that will be worse for your company and for the future of the action that you're going to take. Be assertive and positive all the time. Okay, don't go crazy or despair. Okay, take a deep breath. Reflect how the consumption pattern will change. I just tell you a couple ideas. Who will be the first travelers that will, who will be the first customer that will travel in the first stage? Will be local people. Okay, try to figure out that. You have to think about what you have been doing wrong and what you have been doing well. Don't despair, okay? Diagnosis, check your processes, your organization, your products, your services and experiences, check your prices, your costs, and your policies. We have to think about who we count on to recover. I count on in my suppliers. That could be an ally, that could be next to me. You have to analyze conditions with my suppliers, yes, but first create empathy with my suppliers. Collaborators, we have to create a positive work environment with my collaborators. Clients, we have to start to check the clients, the profile clients, even with the clients that we haven't had contact in a long term. Now probably is the best time to be in contact, but analyze them. And the competition, you have to check what the competition is doing. Not just because can be first with a product or a service before than me, but also because we can connect with that competition and create or share an idea, create a product between two operators, hotels, or eco-lodge. Okay, we have to innovate. Without innovation, there is no future, and this is almost a norm, a law for the future. Okay, vision, mission, and goals. We have to visualize our strategic goal, what are going to do and how we are going to do. We must to set goals, schedule times, and allocate resources. Very important. If we just stay on ideas, we are not going to survive. You shouldn't have an ambition and comprehensive have. I mean that you have to have a very effective plan, not so ambitious, not so amp or extend plan, something very concrete, something that you can do it. Problem must be identified and solution has to be proposed. It's not so positive just to identify problems without a solution. You have to propose a solution. It's better to implement few actions, but effective. Don't lose in a sea of actions and in a lot of action. Trying to prioritize the actions, and those actions has to be effective. Okay, few but effective. Adjust the value proposition. Okay, I mean the ideas that you have in the past of the main attributes or the main advantage that you have, Now is time to look for those advantages and create or generate the new advantage that you can have for the future. And those advantages has to be compared against the competition, okay? You have to have something that the clients recognize you as a different, as a safe, as a good experience. We must analyze our brand, products, and services, and probably some brands experiences will require a new air on or an update. Okay, probably if you have to update a program or have to create a new proposition. This is just a way how to create a conceptualization of my brand. I have 4 kind of attributes: physical, emotional, social, and some images that we can use it. This is something that you can use to create a new kind of brand or a unique proposition, value proposition. Okay, an action plan. I am just ending. The action plan is just the ending, or is the end of the analysis and reflection process. So once I reflect in all these ideas, I have to end with a plan, with something concrete, something that I have to do it. And an action plan has to have at least 4 elements: something about the price, something about the promotion, something about the product, and something about the place. I mean, how I'm going to distribute my products. About the price, some tips: review and reduce cost, renegotiate with your suppliers, review your commercial policies, prices, cancellation, payments, and refunds. Prices and these policies should consider new seasons, okay? So, as I told you, probably we are going to face new seasons, different than the seasons that we used to have. And those are related to the spread of the virus. Let your clients to reschedule your reservation. I think that the most of you have seen those campaigns where the company's destination telling the people don't cancel, rebook, reschedule, we will be waiting for you. So you will be able to do something like that. Be flexible with payments limits to secure cash flow. This is important. If you already have a payment, the first payment on a program or itinerary, trying to extend that limit of the total payment, give you the chance to use that cash flow and give it a chance to the customer, could be a travel agency or a customer, final customer, to rebook a holiday. Be flexible with your policies, but not too much. So you have to give chances and time frame to a rebook decision, but don't be so flexible, because you can start losing money and cash flow. And also, if you want to recovery and you reduce prices or reduce commissions, then in the future you are going to need that cash or that income to react. So be flexible, but not too much. In terms of promotion, if you will be advertising something in Google on search engine, cancel that. You have to cancel that calendar of posts and things like that. You don't have to start a promotion the same thing, so you have to stop that. And then the first thing that I will suggest is to visit your clients online. Make a phone call, a webinar, or a chat with your client to see how he's doing, and trying to see if they have ideas of how the programs or the recovery process will be, how if the customers are asking questions. So you can start next to your clients. If your client is a company or a travel agency, or is a direct client, a very important client, you have to be in contact and trying to get information from them. You have to start to positioning in search engines, but not with programs and products, because the people at this moment is not taking any kind of travel decision. The people is now trying to connect with destination and products, and trying to inspire or dreaming in a future holiday. So we have to create small campaigns or small posts regarding how inspirational could be my product or the experience of my product, without talking about reservation or price. No, we have to inspire the people right now. You have to audit your website and social media. Now is the time to check all your online tools and see if they are working properly. Now it's time to redesign your website. Now it's time to redesign your social media strategy. Now it's time to check your blog trip if you have a blog. Now it's time, because the blog is probably one of the tools more connected with the inspirational process of the customer, because you can put there nice articles or content and storytelling to the people to keep an eye on us, and trying to inspire, and we will try to inspire these customers. You have to stay active as much as possible. You have to prepare your artillery to attack the market when it allows. Always be close to your customers, as I told you, and you know, the question, how are you and how can I help you? The most important question to get contact with your customers and with your suppliers. This is how the stages of travelers are working. You know, the people are dreaming, I told you that, and the people is sharing information through the social media. But the people is no planning trips, there are no booking trips, there are no traveling. So don't worry about those stages and focusing in those two stages, dreaming and sharing. I'm going to pass over this. Trying to create a buyer persona. What is this? Is now that you have time, you can check information in your companies about your clients, and the idea is to create a profile or archetype of your clients. The idea is to give a name and a profile of the typical or traditional clients that you have. Probably they are going to change, but at least you will have a profile that will give you an idea to create products that, with the insights that I gave you, like safe, security, responsibility, or sustainability, could help you to create a program, a product, or services. So the idea is create this archetype of people, and then you will amaze about how much information do you have inside your company, and you will be very surprised about how important is the information that you already have in your company, and this information will help you to create products and programs. Okay, I am just ending in the distribution system. You have to strengthen my online channels strategy with online travel agencies, directories, online guides. Now the people is searching information, they are dreaming. So you have to improve your presence in those channels. You have to observe and stir the competition. Okay, you have to take a very good look of the competition, what they are doing, how the website are working, the social media, etc. You have to analyze the markets from now on and how they are going to change. And this is very important that, as I told you, focusing in some specific source of information. Don't try to book everything or look for a lot of different sources of information, because that will confuse. You have to focusing in 2 or 3 sources of information. This will be better because will save you time and will help you to focusing in the action plan. Reconnect with all clients. Now is important because the people is sensitive. If you have a problem in the past with a client because of payment, because a problem with a customer, with a tourist, with a client, because of reimbursement, it's something separate from your client, now is the time to get connect with the client. Everybody sensitive and probably will be able to answer a call or a chat or an email. But connect the old clients, because you will need those clients for the future. It's important to create seminars and training sessions for your clients, your suppliers. It's nice if you can create a training session for a specific products, for your bestseller products, for your programs, or for the ideas that you want to create in the future. And in a way, you can train the the clients and suppliers in the future. At the same time, you can get feedback from them in order to use those feedbacks for the next or the future products that you are going to create. Important association and memberships is important. Don't dismiss them. Don't take away our association and membership, because they are very important links to the markets and give you information, input, and a connection with clients and final customers. In terms of products, this is the last slide. You have to define what you are selling right now, and then you have to start reorganize and evaluate your product offer. Probably you will find some advantage and attribute of your products, and probably also you will start to redesign your products based in something I call my new old customer, something that I knew before but will have a different kind of attitude or will act in a different way. That's something I call my new old customer. It's a customer that was with me but will be reacting in a different way because of this situation. But you have to understand and be connected with them. We have to design a product for local. Is alternative from some tour operator. We have to extend or reduce, depending of your analysis, your product portfolio. What products or services are or are not profitable? You have to start to prioritize. Take what is not useful, is is not profitable, that is maybe is not working at this moment, probably didn't work well. So it's now time to clean and select and prioritize those products. You have to develop short-term products, and then you can start to pre-sale. This is a good advice. Trying to pre-sale new products, trying to find or get some cash or cash flow in advance with a pre-sale with products that are focusing in weekends or staycations or near vacations. Somebody call it, no, a destination very close. That is something, an action plan for the short term. I think that is all. Sorry to be so rushed. I think I covered the most of the presentation. I have a couple of just a question here. Lucy's asking me, thanks for the presentation, and any advice for those who use third-party websites for marketing promotion, especially those in gig economy? Okay, for those that are using third-party website, the idea is to get in contact with that website and trying to find if you can improve your profile. That website is in the middle between you and the final customer, right? And most of the websites that could be an OTA, a directory, or a review website, something like TripAdvisor, probably are looking for ways to improve the profile of the people that are there. So the idea is to get in contact with them, trying to find if they have a possibility to improve your profile. And another idea is, once you have something new, a new product or something that without price or reservation system, I mean just inspiration content, trying to publish that in that website in order to get to inspire some other possible or potential clients.